The stupidity of Jim Cornette. What a passionate response this series gets on my channel. And I have a lot more episodes to come, pause. But something very interesting just happened. Now, I'm about me, okay? I don't care if who agrees or disagrees. It don't matter. The purpose of my channel is to say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done. And to eat off these carcasses. But, in the Stupidity of Cornette series, I touched on his disgusting atheism, his hypocrisy, his delusional man-worshipping cult fan base, his mindless booking, how every company he's worked for either fires him or lets him leave. That was really a funny one. I don't remember which episode it was, but I was like, Cornette, if Cornette is so great, why did every booker and not even booker, why did every promoter pick Russo over him? Every promoter picked Vince Russo over him. If Cornette is so great, how come no promotion is just begging him, please, Jim, please come back. Please, Jim, please come here and save us. When Cornette threatens to leave, I made this point. I'm fitting to leave. I'm going to Louisville. I'm going back to Kentucky. Okay, Jim. I'm telling you, I'm really going to leave this time. Okay, Jim. No company ever had a problem with Cornette leaving. None of them. None of them. They weren't, no, Jim, please. What can we do to work this out? No, they just let him leave or they fired him. And even the morons, his delusional man worshippers, because this is what man worship is. You're blinded to facts. Everything I say about this individual is facts. Cornette has been fired, released, or they let him go and did not care. He was fired from NWA Power. Why? He made his usual racist jokes, which are not funny. And always remember, I said this, I'll say it again, 95% of Cornette's phrases and jokes is something he stole from Memphis Wrestling, and Jerry Lawler said it in 1978. Nothing about Cornette is original. Everything he says is something he memorized and practiced a million times saying. He's been saying the same nonsense. He's a biter. I called him the Eminem of wrestling. Maybe he's the Jay-Z of wrestling. Why is Jay-Z wearing a dreadlock wig? Jay-Z don't have one gray hair, but that's another video for another channel. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. But everything I say about this individual is true. Fired from NWA Power. Fired, let go, or they let him leave. TNA. Bischoff and Hogan's coming. Okay, Jim, you can get up out of here. Okay, Jim, you can go now. The same way, what was that boxing? What was HBO? Was it Harold Letterman with Jim Lampley? Okay, Jim. Whenever Cornette wanted to leave. Okay, Jim. Okay, he got fired from WWE. When he was in OVW, they had no regard for him. John Laurinaitis wanted him gone. The Santino Marella incident, great, fired him. Let him, get him up out of here. ROH, I'm leaving this time. The guy in merchandise, I'm going to choke him. Okay, Jim. Show me one company that was like, no, please, Jim, please don't go. Show me one. WCW. I'm gonna order the, what was it? He ordered the Dead Flowers or something, and instead of Jim Herd, he went to Jim Ross. I'm leaving. I quit it. Okay, Jim. If he's so great, why do no company Well, they did not care if he was there or not. If Cornette said, I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying here. Okay, Jim. Like, they didn't care about him. The fact, I mean, this is hilarious. And you have people in the comments on that video when I said all this, Cornette has never been fired. There are people leaving comments. What are you talking about? Jim Cornette has never been fired from a company. It is amazing. But that's idolatry. These people, man worshippers, they get mad at you for calling out what someone, they get mad at you for calling out what someone said, what someone did. This person said these things, did these things, acted like this. You're not offended by him. No, you're mad at the person who points it out. This is the world you're living in. But anyway, something interesting happened on my latest Cornette episode, which was his disgusting reaction to the Trump hit, the Trump assassination attempt. His disgusting reaction, and Jim Cornette's childhood rotund friend, the bloated one, the 7 million pound man, Starmaker Kenny Bolin. Starmaker Bolin. Apparently he left a few comments on my channel. But he sounded like first of all, I didn't know it was him. I thought it was just a regular Mark. I didn't know it was like a Mark who actually been in wrestling with Cornette. So his comment was something like, something, I'd like for you to debate on my channel. If we could have a respectful debate. I didn't even see it was him. I just thought it was a regular Mark. So I was like, nah, let me block you. I don't debate people. I don't debate people. Let me ask a question. What's the point of a debate in life? What's the point of a debate? Show me one time a debate ever settled anything. Show me one time in a debate at the end, one side was like, yeah, you right. No, what's the point of debate? It's just mindless banter. I don't debate people. First of all, Kenny Bolin, nobody can out-debate me on nothing. You're not going to win anyway, but I don't debate people, and I don't team up. I don't team up. Okay, I'm a soloist. I'm not a group artist. Okay? Okay, I'm a soloist. And then Kenny Bolin, well, I'd be more than happy to have you on my channel for a respectful debate. Respectful? Kenny Bolin is the same piece of trash that Cornette is. He's the same piece of trash. Not quite as much. On a scale of 1 to 10, Cornette is a 10. And on a scale of 1 to 10, Cornette is a 25 piece of trash. Bolin is like Bolin's like a 7.7. But but I didn't even notice it was his comment, and then apparently there was another comment. So I don't know, I just banned or blocked whoever it was because they sounded like an idiot. And then I was like, hold on, who was that? And then I looked back and it said Starmaker Bolin. I was like, oh, Starmaker Bolin left a comment. I thought it was just a regular Mark. No, it's a special Mark. It's Starmaker Bolin. Now, for the people listening who are like, who the hell are you talking about the last 2 minutes? Who is Starmaker Bolin? Well, I think I just said, he was Jim Cornette's childhood friend. They grew up together, stealing chicken tenders from Kroger. Yeah. They used to eat spaghetti in Cornette's mom's attic or something, whatever. Bolin used to pimp slap and bitch slap Cornette when they were children. Bolin is the, I believe, all-time state leader in amateur wrestling victories. Kenny Bolin was a true athlete, one of the greatest athletes. I mean, when you think about the great athletes from Kentucky, you think of Muhammad Ali, you think of Kenneth Bolin, and you think of, that's it. And he's the one who taught Cornette everything he knows, pretty much. And Cornette is a leech and a vulture. So when Cornette got into the wrestling business, he promised to bring Bolin along with him. But all he did was lead him on and screw him and steal all his material. The way Cornette cut his promos, them fiery promos, he stole that from Bolin. This is a documented fact. Um, and they were allegedly best friends. But Cornette, who I mentioned in the last video about the Trump assassination, Trump is one of these atheist people that, I said it before, these atheists, they have the same characteristics. They don't believe in anything greater than what they can see, so that's why they put so much into human beings. So if you do something they don't like, that's why they're so quick to cut you off and you should die and be dead. Great. Cornette abandoned his best friend of 50 years. I mean, they did everything together. They went to carnivals together. They went to the wrestling matches together. They went to Klan rallies together. Yeah. They stole cable together. They exchanged Miracle Whip recipes. I ain't crying over no crackers. This is a black channel. But in the serious nature, because yes, Jim Cornette is such a serious topic. Cornette, he's one of these, like I just said, if you disagree with Cornette, somehow you're wrong, and he's one of these people with this fake one-sided view and all this nonsense. And even his own buddy, who shares in his disgusting atheism and all these type of things, Bolin. Now, see, this is the one thing I will say, and this is disgusting too, but at least Bolin is an admitted racist. Bolin admitted, quote unquote, in the past that he was against this group and that group and whatever. And then one day he started playing the OJs or the Gap Band or I'm sorry, Earth, Wind and Fire. Do you remember? And September, whatever. The Earth, Wind and Fire was cold. Oh, Earth, Wind and Fire was cold. Man. Oh man, legendary, man, iconic. Oh man, who's the dude in Earth, Wind and Fire who had the luxurious perm? What's that? Verdine White? Oh, is he dead? Oh man, he was cold, man. Oh man. But real music. But he admitted to that, and then but he did explain that he kind of grew up in a family like that, and then once he got around people who are not white, he realized the error of that view, and I believe he said he separated himself from his bigoted family, and I can respect that. And like I said, Kenny Bolin's a far superior human being than Jim Cornette. But Bolin's a piece of trash too. I mean, the man stole potted meat from Kroger. Kroger! Not Giant, not Safeway, not Publix, but Kroger. But Cornette left him for dead too. Why? Because Vince Russo started his podcast group, and Bolin befriended Russo. And the fact that Kenny Bolin... Now, I will say this because this is like an interesting feud that you'd have to really, really be following them to even know about. But, Cornette always had his delusional disdain for Russo, and I'm sure an episode in this series will be about his ridiculous, never-ending feud with Vince Russo and how absurd it got. And it's 100% Cornette's fault, as usual. And Bolin appeared on Russo's podcast, and during that same time, Cornette was having his podcast. This is when Cornette's podcast was starting to take off, and in that time, the highest viewed and highest watched and highest listened to podcast from Cornette is when he'd have Kenny Bolin on as a guest. Now, once again, people might be saying, who is Kenny Bolin? Well, exactly. But Kenny Bolin is someone who's very entertaining. Kenny Bolin is someone who, he is one of the best managers in the last 30 years of wrestling, but you'd have to have watched him in Ohio Valley Wrestling. And most people only saw Bolin if you lived in that, I believe, Kentuckiana. They call it Kentuckiana. I believe it's Kentucky, Indiana. You have to kind of live there to know who Kenny Bolin was. You have to follow OVW. Meltzer and Alvarez, they know who he was. And I believe they even used to say back then that he should have been called up. But his weight, Kenny Bolin, he was someone, look at Paul Heyman. Okay, now add on 300 more pounds, and that's Kenny Bolin. But Bolin's one of the best managers I've ever seen. I think Bolin is a better manager than Cornette ever was, but you'd have to watch and know Kenny Bolin. He was that great. And Cornette, he is a piece of trash, but he was a hell of a manager. Oh, he's a hell of a manager. But I think Bolin is actually better than he was. Bolin just never got the shot to show what he had on national television, but he was tremendous. Kenny Bolin was actually a great help to a lot of people who made it to WWE's main roster. He managed John Cena in OVW. There was a thing in OVW that it was like an inside joke when in like '01, '02, '03. It was like if you were in OVW and you wanted to make it to the main roster, you had to either be managed by Bolin or you had to go against his stable. And that was very true. Because in one way or another, Brock Lesnar, I think Matt Morgan, Cena, I think Orton, Rene Dupree, in one way or another, they either went against Bolin or were managed by him. And he was tremendous. Oh, you can find some of the segments on YouTube. It was great. Him and Cornette had great chemistry on and off screen. But in real life, Cornette would turn even on his best friend. Now, I will say this. They're supposed to be best friends, and then Bolin goes on Russo's podcast. So it is like, okay, your best friend of 50 years kind of just betrayed you. So in one sense, Cornette is kind of right. But in another sense, Cornette is having this never-ending feud with Vince Russo over wrestling booking philosophy. It's ridiculous. Now, Bolin and Cornette, these are two grown men who've always been petty. They're like, they were best friends, but like also they like constantly jabbed each other. So I'm sure Bolin was being petty, and grown men should not be acting petty, but whatever. But so Cornette is like, Bolin, you're dead to me now, pal. And then there was some situation where Russo was doing his podcast, and then Bolin was on there, and then during the podcast, Cornette called Bolin. So then literally Cornette's voice appeared on Russo's show. Because always remember, Cornette is a coward. So Cornette's one of these people, he'll talk crazy about you. He'll go on and on and on and on and on. But he will never say it to your face unless he has a bat or a racket in his hand. He won't even say it to your face on Zoom, on StreamYard, on Skype. None of these things. But that's typical. Typical behavior. Cornette is someone who lives in his own little world, and if you crash his world, he has a mental breakdown and he blacks out and he has a nosebleed and his anus becomes inflamed and engorged and enraged. The man has an explosive rectum. Good Lord. He would fit so perfectly bent over at a puffy party. Is Diddy in handcuffs yet? Wrong channel. Hit the like button. But so Cornette, he even betrayed his own best friend. I'm waiting for the day where he turns on Brian last. That might be the last turn that Cornette ever makes. And but anyway, so Starmaker Bolin, he leaves a comment on my channel. And I think the comment said something about something about baseball or something. I don't know. Who gives a damn? Now I will say this about Bolin. I used to be a Miami Hurricanes fan when they were the U, but the U is dead. I believe Bolin does support the Miami Hurricanes, things like that. So yeah, some sort of intelligence. But back to the Cornette's reaction to the Trump hit. Cornette's one of these Republicans who's pretending to be a Democrat, and he thinks Joe Biden is so great. Oh God, he's another one of these delusional Democrats, these delusional fake liberals. But Bolin, he's another one. He's another one of these people. He sits on Twitter all day talking about Trump. Now, let me make this clear again, because you're in a society full of ignorance and assumption. I don't care about Donald Trump. I don't care about him. I don't care about Biden, Harris, Obama was garbage. I don't care about none of them, okay? To me, the last great president was FDR. Okay? I don't trust none of them. I didn't trust Reagan. I mean, this is before my time, but Nixon, Clinton. What? You supposed to like, if you're black, you're supposed to like Clinton because he smoked the blunt and played the saxophone on Arsenio? Please. Please. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, the last great president was FDR or TDR, whichever one. Lyndon B. Johnson was a bigot. Look it up. Kennedy, I don't know. Kennedy was like he's on some gangster shit. I mean, I don't know what Kennedy. They took him out for a reason. Okay, when they clip you like that in public on camera, and they've been showing the replay like a Sports Center highlight for the last 1,000 years. That was a message. But anyway, I don't care about these people. But to me, this is that man worshiper. It's like reverse idolatry. You don't like somebody, but you keep talking about them all the time. And then Bolin's one of these people. If you say the word Trump, he has a mental breakdown. If you say the word Republican, he has a mental breakdown. But here's the hypocrisy. He'll go on his own channel and say, well, if you're just like respectful about it, please get the hell up out of here. Bolin's another one of these delusional Democrats. On Bolin's last live stream, I actually tuned in for it. I usually don't watch Bolin. I check his channel because he can be mildly entertaining. But Bolin is someone who goes on and on and on. He cuts off his co-host. He fires his co-host. I mean, good Lord. Him and Cornette are the same person. You disagree with Bolin, you got to get fired. You up out of here. He had a host named Rob Dickin. Another piece of trash. You know, I followed Bolin, years ago. He was very entertaining. But I had to stop following him because he started doing this like delusional anti-Trump thing. And if you're against Trump, I'm fine with that. But when it's a constant, never-ending everything, it's like, who wants to hear about Trump all day? I don't want to hear about nobody all day. If you're against Biden, I don't want to hear that all day either. Like, people's understanding of politics is very incorrect. It's based on nothing. Everything's emotional. Men should not be emotional. Men should not act emotional. They should mentally break things down. Mentally. Men should possess composure. It should not be an emotional breakdown because you don't like someone or someone disagrees with you. But that's how these two are, which is probably why they bonded as friends. They have many of the same traits. And then now Cornette left him for dead, which is hysterical to me. But Bolin is another one of these delusional Democrats. His last live stream, he was saying, the Democrats are the good people. They're giving people. They're the caring people. The right side. What do you mean the right side? Democrats are the biggest con artists in the world. Democrats are so arrogant, they think they have the black vote just because they're Democrats. And now with Come On Her Harris, who's done nothing but lock up innocent black men, who's done nothing but hurt her own black community when she was in office. And now they think they have the black vote because an alleged black woman is running? What are you talking about? No, you have the black vote of idiots. Real African Americans who possess discernment and perspective. You can't get the black vote unless you come to black people with something tangible. And the number one tangible thing would be reparations, which this country will never do. Or you have to give African Americans a $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion economic package the same way they gave the small hats, the Asians, the Indians, and the Native Americans. But this country will never do that. The Democrats do not have the black vote. They have the black vote of coons. But once again, I think I'm going somewhere that most people viewing or listening can't handle. I might have to open up another channel where I talk about politics and business and investing and financing. Because, there is more to life than talking about wrestling and sports and music. There's more to life than that. But I will eat off these carcasses. Now, he said this delusional nonsense because when I realized, Bolin left a comment, I was like, okay, I didn't mean to block his comment. I thought it was another mark. But I was like, that's Bolin. Damn, I didn't mean to block him. Damn. I just saw some nonsense in the first few words and I don't have time to waste. I'm a busy man. But I tuned into Bolin's live, and then when he was talking this delusion of the Democrats are good, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And then he kept going on and on and on. And then forget even that, because once again, I'm not, he's talking about this. Okay, he's saying nonsense, but that's not going to make me that doesn't do nothing for me. It's just, he's saying nonsense. This complete Democratic delusion. But, what are you talking about? Democrats are the biggest liars in the world. At least a Republican, at least they're upfront crazy. They're upfront bigots. Democrats are the same bigots as Republicans. They just pretend they're not. The biggest con men are Democrats. The biggest agenda pushers are Democrats. They pander to women, they pander to rainbow people, they pander to Asians, and they assume that they have the black vote. It's complete nonsense, and I can go on and on and on, but this is not a political channel. So anyway, but then what really disgusted me, and I was already disgusted, these is Peckerwoods, but there was a part where Bolin started yelling at his audience. He's like, "You people in the audience, you don't even tip, you don't even pay, what you don't even like." You're yelling at your audience because they don't send you donations. You know, on this channel, from time to time, I'll say, hit the super chat or donate to the Cash App if you enjoy this content. Donate to the Cash App if you have a video request. I mean, that's how you say it. Cornette was like going off on, "You people don't pay nothing. You don't tip me. You don't." What the hell? And that's not going to work. And Bolin, once again, Bolin is so much like Cornette. If you disagree with him in a like you have these people, and it's really the insecurity of a lot of males. Well, your criticism or disagreeing with me, just can you say it like really respectfully? But they say things completely ranting and raving and disrespectful. But they want you to be somehow your response to be respectful and nice and great. But you could be a raging lunatic on your perspective. That's that one-sided bullshit. And I've seen it. And Bolin's one of these people. If you go in his live chat, it says you can't comment. You have to be a subscriber for 7 weeks. What? You have to be a subscriber. And even people in this chat, there are people in this chat talking about that, they know how he is and they don't want to get blocked. So if someone does support the Republican side, the person has to put a comment like, "Kenny, I know you don't like the Republicans, and I'm not saying they're great, but I am saying that at least they do this." So you have to comfort people like Bolin with your opinion. If your opinion is not his, you have to really preface it and make it real soft and nice, like a child. Because Bolin will his vertebrae will snap if you say something that opposes something that he thinks, the same way as Cornette. The same way as Cornette. And before I get up out of here, I don't know. I think I was on Bolin's channel, and I think he did an interview with Eric Bischoff. And when I didn't watch it, but I just seeing him and Bischoff, it reminded me when Cornette had this never-ending feud with Eric Bischoff, and of course it's one-sided because that's another thing about these people. They make up these feuds in their minds, and they're so heated and passionate, and then when they finally meet the person, they don't have none of that same attitude with them. Cornette for years ranting and raving on Eric Bischoff. I guarantee Eric Bischoff has not thought about Jim Cornette since like 93 or 92 or whenever they first were around each other. And then when they met on that WWE table for three, Cornette was real polite and real nice. And then when Bischoff corrected him on, "Actually, Jim, I never did this. Actually, Jim, that wasn't my doing." Cornette looked so stupid. And then Cornette, maybe Bischoff's not that bad of a guy. And then like 2 months later, "I hate Eric Bischoff." And then I believe Bischoff went on Bolin's podcast and roasted Cornette again. Eric Bischoff, another person who these bookers, these promoters rather, picked over Cornette. Hey, Jim, this is Dixie Carter. How are you? Why does my Dixie Carter sound like Conrad Thompson? How are you? Yeah, we're going to have Eric Bischoff coming in, so you can leave. And speaking of leaving, I'm up out of here. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and that is it. More to come. Oh, man. More to come. That's what Janelle Grant said.